Are you facing challenges renewing your disabled parking placard in New Jersey? Well, welcome to the explainer that transforms the confusing maze of state bureaucracy into your personal step-by-step roadmap. I'm so glad you're joining us today because we are going to make this process as clear and straightforward as humanly possible. Seriously, if you're feeling completely overwhelmed by DMV paperwork right now, or maybe just frustrated by previous delays, trust me, you are definitely not alone. But stick around because today we've got the ultimate cheat sheet ready to go, and it's going to give you everything you need for a completely hassle-free process. Getting this renewal sorted out is absolutely crucial, and not just to comply with state laws, right? It's about maintaining that daily convenience and accessibility you actually rely on. So today, we're breaking down exactly what you need to do to get those credentials renewed legally, super fast, and without the usual headaches. To make sure we're giving you the absolute best information, we'll be relying squarely on the official New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission guidelines. We're also pulling in some handy insights from municipal police departments and medical telehealth providers just to ensure you're fully compliant and ready to hit the road, totally worry-free. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. Eligibility for NJ renewals, 2. Gathering required documents, 3. Application process and fees, 4. Timelines and common questions, 5. Crucial do's and don'ts, and finally, 6. Summary and final steps. So let's jump right into Section 1, Eligibility for NJ renewals. Right off the bat, you've got to know there are two totally different paths you can take in New Jersey. You absolutely have to identify which one is yours. Permanent placards use Form SP41. They're valid for 3 years, and they go directly through the State Motor Vehicle Commission. Temporary placards, on the other hand, use Form SP68. They're valid for 6 months, and those are handled entirely by your local municipal police chief. So make sure you don't mix these two up. Now, for permanent renewals, your medical practitioner actually has to recertify that you still fall into one of 7 specific statutory clinical classifications. The criteria are pretty strict. We're talking about conditions like severe pulmonary disease that requires portable oxygen, or a chronic orthopedic condition where you physically cannot walk 200 feet without needing to stop and rest.
Moving right along to Section 2, gathering your required documents.
You'll want to treat this like your literal armor before going to the DMV. Make sure your form is entirely filled out and grab your disabled person ID card. Oh, and if you don't happen to have a New Jersey driver's license, you'll need to satisfy their super strict 6 points of ID verification. But here is the most crucial part. Your medical certification must be dated within 60 days of submitting your application. Literally, if it's day 61, they're going to reject it. Let's also clarify exactly what the state means by medical certification because they are incredibly strict about it. It has to feature a physical signature on an original prescription pad or an official corporate letterhead from a licensed practitioner. Absolutely no photocopies allowed. The good news, though, is that besides doctors, authorized practitioners do include podiatrists, chiropractors, physician assistants, and nurse practitioners. All right, Section 3, Application Process and Fees. Let's see how this actually gets done. The actual application process is just 3 simple steps. Fill out the right form, get that doctor's signature, and submit it. But listen to this massive pro tip. New Jersey actually allows secure telehealth evaluations. Services like Parking MD can evaluate you right through your smartphone or computer, and then they email you the signed form. It completely saves you a physical trip to the doctor's office. Plus, if your mobility is severely limited, the state allows an ID exemption, so a designated caregiver can just go and submit the paperwork on your behalf. Okay, time for everybody's favorite topic, fees. You'll be happy to know the state of New Jersey charges exactly $0 to process and issue a permanent placard, or even a replacement. It's totally free. That said, if you're applying for a temporary placard down at your local police station, that one's going to cost you exactly $4. So where do you actually send your forms and potentially your money? You really got to make sure you're submitting these to the correct authority. Temporary placard forms, along with that $4 fee, go straight to your local municipal police records bureau. And please do not send cash. Make it a check or money order payable to the NJMBC. For the permanent placards, your totally free application goes straight to the official state MVC's Special Plates Unit over in Trenton. That brings us to Section 4, Timelines and Common Questions. I need you to keep this number firmly in your mind. 3. Why? Because permanent disabled parking privileges absolutely do not renew automatically. You have to undergo a complete medical recertification and submit a brand new SP41 form every 3 years. Seriously, do not just sit around waiting for a reminder in the mail because there's a good chance you might not even get one. Let's talk about realistic timelines for a second. If you mail your permanent application to Trenton, you should expect a 4 to 6 week wait. Sometimes that even stretches to 8 weeks if they have a high volume of mail. But here's the best part. If you need it immediately, you can just walk into any MVC licensing or vehicle center with your completed paperwork and that original medical script. They'll do same-day processing, and you'll walk out the door with your new placard in hand.
Now, a super common troubleshooting question we see is, what if I lose my placard? Or worse, what if it gets stolen? First off, don't panic. You can actually replace it for free using that exact same Form SP41. All you do is check the replacement box and then just attach a notarized statement of loss. Or if it was stolen, you'll need to attach an official police report.
All right, moving into Section 5, crucial do's and don'ts. Let's keep you on the right side of the law. This number right here should definitely grab your attention. Providing information on your application, or, say, faking a doctor's signature, that is a fourth-degree crime in New Jersey, and it carries a massive $10,000 fine, plus up to 18 months in prison. So, it goes without saying, absolute honesty on these forms is totally paramount. Let's run through a few more really critical rules. Do return the placards and ID cards of deceased family members to the state. It's actually legally required. Do destroy old placards if you happen to find them after getting a replacement. Don't ever share your placard with anyone. They are strictly non-transferable. And here is a huge one. Don't just assume a temporary placard grants you a reserved residential street parking space right in front of your house. By law, municipal police can only install those signs for permanent state-issued placard holders. Finally, we're at Section 6, Summary and Final Steps. Let's do a quick recap of the winning strategy here. First, identify if you need a temporary 6-month placard or a permanent 3-year one. Next, grab that original freshly signed doctor's note, and remember, that needs to be within 60 days. Finally, if you're in a rush, just physically march into the MBC for the fastest, most hassle-free renewal possible. Keep in mind that state guidelines are always subject to change, so definitely use this explainer as your guide, but always verify with official NJMBC resources for the latest updates. I'm going to leave you with one final thought today. Is your placard expiring soon? Seriously, don't just guess. Go grab it right now and check that date. A momentary lapse in paperwork could literally cost you the daily accessibility you rely on or land you a really hefty fine. So, are you ready to take action today and secure your peace of mind? Use this explainer to guide your next steps and have safe travels out there on the road.